I love that. I love my walk-up song, by the way. Thank you for
Let's
that.
let's pop it up again. This is good.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Oh, he wasn't recording the whole time?
That's all right, man. We
All right, we
record
recorded the
the
most important right here. This is most important. We don't miss you, Sarah.
I thought you were gonna put on more music. Let's go. Y'all put up some amazing numbers, by the way. I'm just like in awe. I freaking love it. It's
that
it's
Los
good stuff.
Angeles that Los Angeles sun's got you feeling good. Look at you. Look great, Sarah. It's there's
I go
nothing.
home tomorrow. I'm so sad. I literally been in LA for like almost a month now.
There's actually no sun right now, but it's
I
Oh,
know. I know. What do they
Angelino.
say? May gray, June gloom. That's what they
something
say.
something like that. Let me give you a proper edification here, my friend, because I'm just super excited to have you. I'm actually bouncing off walls right now to have you because, like I said, I've always wanted to meet her when we were like YouTubing, Stefan. Do you remember that, bro? Do you remember like, oh man, she's great.
Yeah, of course.
She's
Well,
turning those around. So Sarah
well,
Pappas got her start in the financial services by getting her life and health license in 2012. Can you believe how fast that's gone? So fast, right? And then
Like
within
a
12
snap.
months, 12 months, she was the top 20 national producer and top three in her second year, full year in the business. As a top producer, she has issued over $1.2 million in annual premium. Ugh, ego, baby. And helped families with mortgage protection, life, and other related services. During her career as a life agent, Sarah and her husband Mike have built an agency now that has over 200 nationwide agents, nine agency owners, and they're all in the top 4% of life brokerage agencies nationally. And as a senior vice president of Symmetry Financial Group, Sarah's passion is helping develop leaders and lifting women within the financial arena. So, ladies and gentlemen, please go ahead and comment your gratitude. The Sarah Pappas. Sarah, man.
Yay!
Why
Thank you, Frank Brenes and Stefan Brenes. Love
don't
me
we,
some Brenes brothers.
why don't we share your story?
Oh
Let's
my
get
gosh.
started.
You said 2012, and I was like, you're like, yeah, it seems like no time at all. But then I was like, yeah, that was like a long time ago. My kids were age 6 and 8 when I got my insurance license. Now they are 18 and 20,
Wow.
right? They're grown.
Mm.
But I got my insurance license probably like most of you on this call because I was wanting to own my own time, and make money, right? Time and money. That's why we're all here. And this opportunity literally was an answer to prayer. It checked everything off the boxes that I was looking for. I was looking to help people. I was looking to make commissions. I was looking to do sales because, sales is helping people. I wanted to sell something that I could believe in and, feel really good about putting my head down on the pillow at the end of the night. And I didn't want to have to find my own clients. Right? Can anybody relate? I love our leads program. I love not having to be a traditional life insurance agent, having to go to constant networking meetings or, I don't know, put on seminars or, just hustling for clients. And I love our leads program. So I'm a lifer. I say that all the time. Like Symmetry Financial Group is an amazing company. I wouldn't have been here for 13 years. The founders, the vision, the leadership, the culture, all of the things, it only keeps getting better. I don't know if you agree with me, Frank, or if you, Stefan, you guys, it's like the opportunity only keeps getting better. And I'm really excited about the next 5 years. So yeah.
No, I mean you said, I mean, I'm preaching to the choir. I believe that this company we owe, my brother and I owe a lot to, and we're doing everything we can just to get better every day, being students of the business. And again, like I said, I'm really appreciative towards what you've done. You've done a lot. Even if you don't know it, you've done a lot for our organization. We mentioned Chris Leak, which we love, but all those things you paved the way for them. Like how long was that video? How old is that video that you have? I
Oh man, I made that video I think in 2014. And thank you so much for that because there's so many great trainers here at Symmetry. Chris Leak definitely being one of the top in my book. But I made that video, Frank, so long ago because I was growing my team and there's like what are you going to do to scale, And now we have like Loom, we have all kinds of little short videos, but at the time I was like, dang it, I was training so many people on the phones. I was like, I just need to freaking put this on YouTube like once,
Mhm.
right? Once and then just have everybody go watch that. And it turned out to I guess it went viral in Symmetry. So yeah, super fun.
Why is
Hey,
Amazon
if you
paying me
don't mind, I'm gonna show it a little bit just so
Go
people
for it. Let's
don't
go.
mind. You guys cool? You guys want to see it? Comment below if you want to see it. Who wants to see it? And I'll show it. But I don't want to take time away from Sarah here. Okay, so you guys want to see it? All right. We have one person. Is there anyone else?
I'm ready.
All
I
right,
haven't
so
seen it in a while.
$63,000 a month.
look at
Well,
these ads.
I didn't make this kind of money selling yoga mats and toasters.
Hey, my SFG team. It is Sarah Pappas, Managing Vice President with Symmetry Financial Group. And I am about to set some appointments using our new virtual script. And I want to just record a few of these. You're going to
What I love about you, Sarah, is you're so bold. You don't care. This was live. I remember this. And so you have a bunch of them in here. But if you
That
guys,
was my COVID one. Yeah, the original.
the original one was this one.
Yeah, that one is like
This
the
is
original 2014. Ring ring.
this is the
Greg.
this is
Such
the
a
script.
baby.
Hey, Greg, this is Sarah Pappas calling. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Hey, Greg, I'm actually calling you back here. I've got here in my hands this letter that you had filled out and mailed in for you and Michelle to get some information back on the mortgage protection on your home loan for your house in Florissant Path. Did you fill that out, or did maybe Michelle fill that out?
I don't know.
Well, Craig, I'm actually just the caseworker that's been assigned to get some options together for the two of you. And
Oh,
before I
okay.
can do that, I actually just
I
need
think
to
you have another
verify what
video in the
we needed
background
here.
running.
Where?
You know, I, I don't see that, but you know what I was going to say about that video?
No,
I,
you're good.
I don't, I didn't even actually need to go further because you know what? Here's what I teach now, Frank. I, I already won myself a client just in this video. You know why? Because I teach this. If you can make your client, if you can make your prospective client on the phone smile and or laugh. Laughing is the best. You've literally just earned an appointment and you just earned yourself a client.
All right, so that was really good. Did you guys hear that? That was incredible. Write it down. What did she just say? What did you just say, Sarah?
It's true. Like honestly, like what I said, like I don't think I would ever train anybody to do what I did on that call, like verbatim, like as a script. But what I did do is like within the first 30 seconds, I made whoever I was talking to, I made that person laugh, right? I was like, oh wait, did you know whatever? And it's like literally, I think people walk around in this like low level of anxiety day in and day out. And when we get our batch of leads and we start making those dials, like we have this unique, amazing opportunity to go and change someone's day. We also have the opportunity to change someone's life. That's why I call what we do, we're superheroes. So when we get on the phone with somebody, like just remember that. Like my main goal is to make a connection with that human being on the other end of the phone. And if I can get them to smile, I've literally just changed their state of mind. And if I can get them to laugh, I've just earned myself a client.
Wow, that's so good. I never thought about that. We take this so serious sometimes, and we're so fearful. And if you just show them that you care, they care. I guess you're not showing them. You're kind of they're hearing you that you care, but all that definitely transcends. But I want to take this back. I want to ask you some questions because you've been here a while. You've seen everything mostly, right? And one of the things that I do when I teach my agents, I talk about that 30 sit and the pit of despair in between that. And so is there any way you can walk through, like if there's new people on right now that you can talk to them about starting this business and what's helped you get to where you're at? Because you're very successful in this business. You've been here forever doing the business, training. So if you could speak to them about that because you outlined that so clearly, like, okay, so you're gonna have some success and then boom, you're gonna hit that transition.
It's true. Okay, so let me just get a little engagement. Let me just kind of like read the room here. Who on this call, put a one in the chat if you're here within your first, put a one in the chat if you're here within your first 90 days. And then put a two in the chat if you're here within your first 6 months. Awesome. Awesome. A lot of ones, little good, a lot of twos. I love it. Listen, if you've made it here 6 months, you're gonna make it.
Oof.
If you've made it 6 months, you're gonna make it because the truth is, I don't know what the stats are. I think it's like something crazy, like 80 or 90% of life insurance agents quit within their first 90 days. Like, do you know the stats on that, Frank? It's crazy.
I don't want to say them right now. We're going to stay positive, but let's just say it's a very high turnover rate. And that's why, like, I look at, and go ahead. I don't want to steal your thunder. You
No,
go.
I think it's, I'm not, I think it's just reality. I'm not trying to be negative, but I think a lot of people come here and then they realize, oh, wait a minute, this is actually a little harder than I thought it was going to be, right? Oh, I didn't know it was going to require this. Oh my gosh, I have to step out of my comfort zone. Man, I need to look in the mirror and make some changes in my life, right? I think we're faced with that all the time, especially during your first 90 days. So to answer your question, Frank, if I'm talking to the new people in the room, I always teach like, hey, this is an experiential learning opportunity. You're not going to learn everything that you need to know from a training, from being exposed to a video or a course or training. We have amazing, training on Summit, and we have the Chris Leak training, but you're going to learn from actually doing what we do. And experiential learning is the best way of learning. That's the way that actually like changes your brain chemistry or your neurons in your brain, where you actually maybe only need to experience something once and then you know it. So I always teach that your first 30 appointments, your first 30 sits with families, your first 30 presentations, that's your training ground. And I set that expectation actually right up front. Maybe even before somebody joins the team, so that they have that expectation of, hey, I'm going to go out there and do 30 sits. And after 30 sits, I'm going to have everything that I already need. Like in my tool belt, I'm going to have learned the underwriting, the scripts, handling objections, setting appointments, assuming the sale, right? Doing the e-application, the technology. I'm going to learn all the things that I need to be successful here. And after 30 sits, now I have the tools. I didn't necessarily say the skills, but now you have the tools to go out there and make 6 figures plus on your own pen. Within your first, whatever, 9, if you want to make 6 figures plus during your first 12 months, go out there and sit with 30 people as fast as you possibly can. Right? That gives you the tools. Now the skills, Frank, I always teach, and you said that you promote the chart to 100. The skills come from getting yourself to 100 sits. I just had an agent in my base shop call me last week. She said, "Oh my gosh, Sarah, I just got my 100th sit." I was like, "Okay, we're gonna celebrate that, and I want to know what did you learn, or what's the difference between your 30 sits and your 100 sits?" Is literally skill development. If you're going through this journey and you're like, man, I'm working on this week, I'm working on handling objections, or I'm working on my sit ratio this week, or I'm working on my rapport with agent or with clients, you're working on something different. You're developing skills, right? And once you get to 100 sits, now that's what I call a master. I love that you're called Sean Kim, Master Kim, right?
Master Kim.
We all want that black belt.
Yes.
At Symmetry. We all want that black belt of where experience, your level of experience matches up to your level of skills. And that's where this business really gets fun.
So look at the impact you have. And by the way, you don't override us. You don't do anything. And I just tell you, I'm so grateful for you. I have one of my up and coming leaders here. She even says, look, I stole that race to 30, then 100 PDF. I've been teaching what you have. You still have so much impact in our lives. You really do. And that's why I'm just like eternally grateful for what you do. always will be. And anytime, you want to go out to dinner or you want to celebrate, I want to celebrate with you. You guys are good people, you and Mike. It's amazing people. Like I'm going to put it out there, right? For all those that have heard me talk about that 100 grid, go ahead and comment yes on there and you'll see. I mean, hopefully I'll put myself out there, but it is phenomenal because it when you gave that training, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. There is something to be said for that. They're not sets, but actual sits. And I know we're getting into the training part, but ultimately what you said is so key about leaning into the journey. That's the journey is where you learn. And in the process of you getting there, you're gonna fall, but you're gonna get up and you're gonna get up. And then all of a sudden you're gonna look back and you're gonna have all this success. Right. So talk to us about your walk, how you discovered this. Talk to us about that.
Oh man, I think, first of all, I during my first few weeks, there was a lot of tears. I too had that moment where I was like, I don't know if I can do this. This is hard. This is harder than I thought it was going to be. There were some tears. There was some tears, but you know what? I have this belief that like winners don't quit and quitters don't win, right? And so I was like, all right, come on, Sarah, talk myself back into getting back up there, and do it again because our emotions can take us down the wrong path sometimes. And we got to realize that even though can be an emotional journey, right? We got to maintain that, not let your highs be too high, not let your lows be too low, so that you can stay in the game. Because I always say your first year in the business here is the hardest. But if you can remain coachable, committed, consistent, those are the 3 C's. We talk about those all the time: being coachable, being committed, being consistent. I promise you, if you are those 3 C's, you won't recognize your life 12 months from now. We all came here on some level to change our lives, right? To change our financial situation, to change our financial future, to become financially independent and even financially free, right? Well, that does not come without some sacrifice, right? It doesn't come without personal growth. It doesn't come without the pain of change. So yeah, I would say your first 12 months, if you just hang in there. That's why I was like, you go. Those people who are 6 months in, I'm like, you go, because I promise you, you keep being coachable, committed, and consistent. 6 months from now, you're going to be a totally different agent. We always say this business runs on 90-day cycles. That's why we talk about a 90-day madman cycle. That's why, we talk about 90 days. But I think to break that down even further, the reason why we talk about 90 days is because it takes 90 days to create a shift in your brain. We've all heard it takes 21 days to develop a habit. But it actually takes 90 days to solidify that habit and create those new neural pathways. When you're talking about, Frank, the learning ladder or the apprenticeship square, we start off, we don't really know what we don't know. Then we learn some things. Then we fall into the pit of despair. We climb our way out, right? And we're stronger for it, right? And then we come back around the corner. Now all of a sudden we've got this locked in. And now once I've got a new habit or a new pattern locked in, I can start working on the next thing that I need to work on. Because we never stop growing here. That's part of the reason why I'm still here and still so excited about my business 13 years later, is because of the growth opportunity that this business has presented to me. And as a business person, as a leader, as a human being, I get to continue to grow, and I start that learning apprenticeship square all over all the time myself, right?
Absolutely. It's really important that people see you lead from the front too, I think, and I think you embody that. You really do, Sarah. You embody that. I also want to talk to you about, you said the first year was very tough, right? The first year is going to be tough. It's where you learn, but talk to them about once they get past that. Like part of the counseling I get, we talk to people about seeing them as what they were going to be, identifying them as what they are now, but also future casting what they're going to be and what that looks like once they get past that. So after that 1 year, and please like talk to us about your exact what happened in your exact circumstance. That after a year, you guys were failing fast. Then after a year, started picking up steam, becoming agency owners, all that stuff. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we do say it, and it's true. Like the idea is that at some point things would get a little easier, right? And it's true. And then when they do get a little easier, then we can add more to our plate. And so for me, that looks like building a team and remaining a top producer. Like I think that's really important as you're building a team. And I'm not sure, is this do y'all have a lot of builders? Like if you're building a team, put a 3 in the chat. I want to see the builders for a second. Let's get some engagement here. If you're building a team, 3 in the chat. Okay, yes. Jessica, Catherine, Landry. If you want to build a team and you're not yet, you can also put a 3 in the chat. Yeah. You know, kind of people always ask, like, well, how do you balance like building and production? And I always teach, Frank, I always teach production has got to be and remain, even as you're building, 80% of your activity, your personal production. Like 80% of your energy needs to go to your personal production. Why? If I could give every agency owner a t-shirt, it would say, feed yourself first. It's putting on the oxygen mask, right? First, before you put on anybody else, feed yourself first, because, you know, if you're not happy and healthy, nobody on your team, you're not going to grow. You're actually not going to grow your team. Nobody's going to be inspired to join your team. When people join your team, they're basically saying, hey, I think this person can help me get to where I want to go. Right? So, help me from getting off track here, Frank. I don't want to, I want to answer your question.
No, I love what you're saying. Feed
But yeah,
yourself first.
you're doing both, and your personal production has got to remain that 80%, because you got to not only feed yourself and your family, but then you got to reinvest back in your business and maintain profitability. So
Yeah, I mean, that's so key, right? People think, well, we're just going to come here and we're just going to live off the overrides. And the reality is, you're going to starve. You're going to starve. You got to feed your family first. And how you do it is by locking in and really, just really be good at sucking really bad. Like, be really good at it. And guess what happens? Once you get over, okay, I suck, like, okay, now the body and the mind starts learning. You start learning. You're like, wait a minute, I've heard that before. I've heard those objections before. I heard those. I've experienced this. When I write the app, I can transition now. And now guess what? Now you're a little more confident, right? Now you can coach, teach, and train that now because you've lived from the point of view of what? Experience. And that's why we can't steal people's struggles. We just can't. And we know that as parents, right? We want to steal our kids' struggle. We do. But in reality, if we do, we're stealing them from who they are to become. And so I want you to talk because you were a parent in the business. I mean, you said you had your little ones, you and Mike, and you were doing this business. You were both full-time in the business, or just you? Were you full-time?
I was full-time for a couple of years, and then Mike quit his corporate job, right? Walked away from a 6-figure salary to come and help build the agency. So, yeah,
Well, let's talk about
parenting.
that. Talk about that because that's a big, big deal, and you had kids that you had to raise, and then
My
you
my goal, Frank, was actually because like I said, my kids were young, but I had this vision, I had this dream of being the mom. Like when my kids were teenagers, I think your kids need you really when you're raising them, like 2 critical periods, like when they're toddlers and when they're teenagers, right? And so my dream was that when they were teenagers, I'd be the mom that could drive them around, or the house that like they could bring their friends over to, you know what I mean? I wanted to be more present in my teenagers' lives and be available, be home when they're home, get home from school, etc. And so that was really my dream, Frank, like as a parent. And it was so cool. The one thing that I did or I did not do or whatever as a parent though, I was so present for my kids when they were teenagers, but you know what? I never went to a single soccer game on a Saturday morning. For 6 years, my
Yeah.
kids were in soccer, and every Saturday I did not go to their games. And there are parents, and if you're on this call and that's you, and you're like, hey, I don't want to miss a game, that's your value and that's your priority. I respect that. But for me, making my dials on Saturdays and being that leading by example for my team, and hosting dial teams on Saturdays on Zoom and all that kind of stuff, that was my value and priority, right? So, so you figure out what sacrifices that you're going to make, because like you said, Frank, it's the long play. It's a short-term sacrifice for the long-term game. It's delayed gratification along the way. And still, that's one thing that, my mentor in this business, Marshall Whalen, he's got a really famous story about how he could have bought a car, his first year in the business, but he chose not to. He chose instead to take that money every month, that $500-$600 car payment, and put that into his lead budget, you
Mm.
know? And so making those short-term sacrifices for long-term gains, I think, is really one of the huge strategies of being successful here.
And I want to kind of highlight that, or just bring that to note. What you said is you were dialing Saturdays. Understand, everybody, back when Sarah was doing this and the kids were babies, right? They had a culture of, on Wednesday, like, they would get the leads, right? They would drop. And then Thursday and Friday you would be running, and then Saturday you'd be setting appointments or something.
Yeah, it was actually a little different. The schedule was like we'd run in the field Mondays and Tuesdays, dial Saturdays, dial Friday, Saturday, Sunday to fill up Monday and Tuesday, and then use Wednesday as that carryover day, right? And then Thursdays is always the recruiting day. And then Fridays we get back on the phone. So Thursdays would be like recruiting, admin, that kind of stuff. But yeah,
Yeah, it's
um,
changed a lot, right? It's changed a ton, but the point is the sacrifice you had to make, because what you were given in those times, you knew you had a dial so you could set up your Monday, Tuesday close days, right?
absolutely. It's a 6-day work week.
Right.
It's a 6-day work week. As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, um, be glad you have a 6-day work week. Be glad it's not a 7-day work week. Another one of my strategies was Saturdays at 4 p.m. I'd shut my phone off, completely off, and not pick it back up till Sunday at 4 p.m. Because, even though we're off, if we're scrolling on our phones, that's not like relaxing. You want to work from a place of rest. And so making sure that you have that, like, Sabbath Sunday or whatever, you know what I mean? You have that 6 days of work and 1 day of rest is so important. So yeah, that was, and you know what, Frank, I think even still to this day, if you want to adopt that kind of a schedule, I think it still works, where you can still dial on the weekends and set up all your Zoom appointments for Monday, Tuesday, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to get a lot of homeowners, especially the target that we hit. You're going to get them on weekends. You're going to get them, especially on Saturdays, a good dial day. The cultures, I mean, in terms of the dial times, that's changed a little bit. I mean, we're dialing whenever, but yeah, we encourage our people to take some time off. You got to take 1 or 2 days off. You have to, right, when you're starting. But yeah, so back to when you were raising the kids, how did you find that time though? Like, how did you have like group counseling sessions with them saying, hey guys, this is what we're gonna do? Or like, how did you make it happen as a mom working the business and your husband working the business?
I mean, that's part of it. We did set our kids down and say, hey, mom's getting her insurance license. This is what she's going to be doing. This is how it's going to change. This is how it's going to affect you and your schedule. We did something really cool when we went on our agency owner run. It was like, hey, kids, we're not taking a vacation this year, but when mom becomes an agency owner, guess what? Then we're going to celebrate as a family, and then we're going to go on a Disney cruise. And that was so fun because now they're on my team. They're like, Mom, did you make your goal this week? And we're pointing at the Disney cruise that's sitting on the refrigerator picture. And we're all excited. It's a family affair. But I think the other thing too, when you're balancing, and maybe you're not balancing kids, maybe you're taking care of an elderly parent, maybe you have a part-time job, maybe you have some other things that you need to do. And I think managing your schedule is probably one of the most important things. You know, what I train to is the 4 keys to a successful week and the 4 cornerstones of success. I call them the Great Eight. That in and of itself is our Symmetry system. You know, the 4 cornerstones starts with belief. That is like the foundational piece, right? The 4 keys to a successful week, it starts with your schedule, managing your schedule. Something that a mentor taught me a long time ago is for every 1 hour that you spend calendaring, you will gain 8 hours of productivity. So for every hour that you spend figuring out your calendar for the week, you'll gain 8 hours of productivity throughout the week. And so I think one of the things is when you have a really tight schedule, you can be working when you're supposed to be working. And then when you're not working, you can be fully present with your family. So it's not like this stressful thing where I'm with my family, but I feel like I should be working, or I'm working and I feel like I should be with my family. If my schedule is locked down, then I don't need to worry about that. I can just execute and follow the schedule.
That's key, right? That's key to this business is you have to make a concerted effort to really do the business, because the flip side of having a little bit of success or in the grind is you've all the freedom to mess up too. Like you have all the freedom to not do the business. And that's the hardest part of being an entrepreneur. You can't take anything lightly. You have to literally be 100% committed to the business. Like when you're married, you're not halfway committed. You're either committed or you're not. You're either married or not. That's the same thing with a business. You're married to this business. So, Sarah, looking back since 2012, you've been here almost when the company was founded. Like, no, when was the company founded? In
2009.
2009. So yeah, but what are you excited about now? Because I mean, we got a little bit of time left on the clock here. What are you most excited about in this business and where you're at right now and where the company's heading?
I was excited when I came here. When I came to Symmetry, Symmetry was 4 years old. They were still like a young company, but I was excited because I met the leadership. I went to Asheville and I saw Brandon and Casey, and I got to meet people like Edward Pritchett and Marshall Wayland, and I was like, these are my people. I'm going to grow old with these people. I made that decision. I had the belief, and I was so excited because as a young company, I figured, man, they've kind of overcome some of the initial startup hurdles, and they've created this amazing runway. We can really run and grow this. And that's really, I took advantage of the opportunity. I became agency owner within 8 months of coming to Symmetry.
Wow.
But what I'm excited about is that this company keeps getting better and better and better. Like our founders keep growing and they keep expanding the opportunity for you and for me and for every agent that comes here to Symmetry. The culture is still that award-winning culture, right? So I'm excited for the next 5 years. I'm excited at the people that are going to really win here that aren't even on my team yet, right? So I think the next 5 years is going to be very explosive thanks to the technology that we're bringing to the marketplace and the quality of services that we can provide, the leadership, the quality of people that are coming into this business, the quality of people that we already have. So I think the next 5 years is going to be our best yet.
Yeah. So like, just like in the old days, I used to run about back out west. I used to claim, do put a stake down on that land and make sure you claim it. It's kind of the same thing now here in this business. So Sarah, it was awesome having you on. You guys show your gratitude to Sarah there, leaving a comment behind. And Sarah, anything else you would like? Oh, I forgot. Oh my goodness, this book. Yes, Sarah, talk about this book. This is Michael Anthony, your husband's book. Talk about this really quick. Give a shout out. We're going to probably have him on. And my goodness, what a book. So I know Sarah even more now because of this book. And she is, you see her as this beautiful, nice little person there, but she is a monster. All the things that she's had to go through. This book, it's called Life is Dope. Michael Anthony, just an amazing book. If you guys, it's out, right? It's out right now on
May the 6th, so that's tomorrow. It comes out on Amazon tomorrow. Yes.
Oh, there you go. Let's do a plug.
Yes, please. Tomorrow, go on Amazon. It's called Life is Dope, and it is an amazing book. It is an absolutely amazing book. So I highly recommend.
All right, everyone, show some gratitude. All right, we're gonna leave you off with another song, and everybody wave and say goodbye to the one and only. Gosh, she's so good, Miss Sarah Pappas.
Thanks for having me on, y'all. It was really good to see everybody.
Yeah, so
Have an
awesome.
awesome day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate
You bet.
you.
Yeah, thanks, Stefan.
The best. Love it.
I like the DJs. Good songs.
Trying.
Send me that first one, Frank. I'm gonna put that one on my playlist.
I will. All right, Sarah, God bless. Thank you for having.
Thanks, y'all. Love y'all.
See ya.
Bye.
Awesome. Great interview, brother.
I don't care, go on and tear me apart.
I saw him in concert.